2015, New York City, winter. A man sat alone on a frozen bench in Central Park. His name was Jack, age 50. He had nothing. No home, no family, no hope. 15 years ago, he was someone, an artist, a husband, a father. But addiction destroyed it all. His wife left, his children stopped calling, and now, freezing on this bench, he looked up at the falling snow and whispered, "God, please, take me. I can't do this anymore." Flashback. 15 years earlier, Jack was a different man, a portrait artist, talented, successful. But when his business failed, he turned to alcohol, then drugs. He became violent, angry. His wife Sarah tried to help, but Jack pushed her away, yelled at his children, lost everything. By the time he realized what he'd done, they were gone. And he was alone. Back to 2015. Jack hadn't eaten in 2 days. A kind stranger finally gave him a sandwich. His hands shook as he unwrapped it. But before he could take a bite, a larger homeless man appeared. Younger, aggressive. He grabbed the sandwich, shoved Jack to the ground, laughed, and walked away eating. Jack lay there in the snow, too tired to even cry. Jack wandered to a different park, colder, quieter. He found a bench, collapsed onto it. The temperature was dropping, single digits. He knew what that meant. He remembered being a child, going to church with his mother, believing in God, believing prayers were heard. He hadn't prayed in 15 years. But tonight, freezing and broken, he closed his eyes. "God, if you're there, I'm ready. Take me home. Please." Jack pulled his thin jacket tighter, closed his eyes. The cold was unbearable. He was ready to let go. But then, he felt something. Movement against his leg. He opened his eyes, confused. Was he dreaming? Was this death? But no. There, nestled against his chest, a puppy. Tiny, golden fur, shivering, just as cold, just as desperate to survive. The puppy was abandoned, left in a cardboard box nearby. It had crawled to Jack for warmth. 2 souls, both on the edge of death, both fighting to survive. Jack held the puppy close. Its tiny body trembled. Without thinking, he tucked it inside his jacket, against his chest, sharing what little warmth he had. And somehow, that warmth kept them both alive through the night. Morning came. Jack woke up. He was alive. The puppy was alive. Somehow, impossibly, they'd survived. The puppy looked up at him. Those eyes, so trusting, so innocent. And that's when Jack realized. This puppy, it thought he was its father. It had chosen him. Out of all the people in New York City, this tiny creature had crawled to him and saved his life. Jack looked at the puppy, really looked at it. Its tail wagged weakly, it licked his hand, and for the first time in 15 years, Jack felt something. Purpose, responsibility, love. "I have to keep you alive," Jack whispered. "If I die, you die. So I can't die. Not anymore." The puppy tilted its head. As if it understood, Jack held it close. "Okay, little one, let's survive together." Jack stood up. His legs were weak.
His body hurt, but he had a mission now: food, shelter for both of them. He tucked the puppy into his jacket and started walking. One step, then another.
The streets were waking up. People hurried past. No one looked at the homeless man with a puppy, but Jack didn't care. For the first time in 15 years, he had hope. Weeks passed. Jack begged harder, fought harder. Every dollar went to feeding the puppy. Every safe place went to sheltering it. And the puppy? It grew from a tiny ball of fluff into a loyal companion. People started noticing them, the homeless man and his dog. Some gave money, some gave food, some just smiled. The puppy brought joy to a cold city, and Jack, he finally had someone who loved him unconditionally.
But then, the worst happened. The puppy, now 6 months old, stopped eating, stopped playing. It just lay there, weak, shivering. Jack panicked.
"No, no, no!" Jack cried. "Please, you can't die. You're all I have." He tried everything, but the puppy just got weaker. Jack had no money, no options, so he did the only thing he could. He carried the puppy through the streets, crying, begging, "Please, someone help! My dog is dying!"
A man stopped, mid-40s, kind eyes. "I'm a veterinarian," he said. "Bring your dog, now." Dr. Martinez led Jack to his clinic, put the puppy on the exam table, worked quickly. Hours passed. Finally, Dr. Martinez came out. "He'll be okay. Infection. I gave him antibiotics." "But Jack," the doctor's expression hardened. "Why are you living like this? Your dog almost died because you have nothing. What did you do before this?" Jack looked down, ashamed. I used to paint portraits, but I lost everything." Dr. Martinez leaned forward. "Then paint again. You're letting yourself die out there, and your dog will die with you. Start with something, anything." Dr. Martinez softened. "My daughter, Sophia, she's studying art. We have supplies. Take them. Draw something. Sell it. For your dog's sake, try." Jack looked up, tears in his eyes. I haven't drawn in 15 years. Then it's time to start again." That night, in a shelter, Jack opened the box. Pencils, paper, charcoal. His hands shook. Could he still do this? He looked at his sleeping puppy. "For you," he whispered, and he began to draw. The pencil felt foreign, awkward, but slowly something happened. Muscle memory. His hand moved, lines appeared, and there, on the paper, his puppy, sleeping. Perfect. Weeks turned to months. Jack drew every day. His puppy, now full grown, sat beside him on the street. People stopped, not just to pet the dog, but to see Jack's art. And the dog, it became his protector. One afternoon, 3 men approached, the same men who'd stolen from Jack months ago. They wanted his money, his supplies. But the dog stood up, placed itself between Jack and the men, and growled, deep, protective. "That thing'll bite," one man said. They backed off, but they came back at night when fewer people were around. They grabbed Jack's art box. The dog lunged, barking fiercely. Jack fought back. A crowd gathered. "Leave him alone!" someone shouted. More voices joined. The men realized they were surrounded. Someone called the police. Sirens approached. The men tried to run, but the crowd blocked them. When the officers arrived, dozens of witnesses spoke up. These men attacked him. They tried to steal from him, arrest him. Justice Finally, the crowd had filmed everything. By morning, the video was everywhere. Homeless artist in loyal dog defended by NYC community. News channels picked it up. Suddenly, everyone knew about Jack and his dog, and they wanted his art. A YouTuber found Jack, interviewed him. "Can you draw me?" she asked. Jack nodded. 20 minutes later, she held a stunning portrait. She cried, posted the video. 10 million views. Street artist Jack became a phenomenon. Among the thousands of viewers was someone special, a hospital director, Dr. James Chen. He bought one of Jack's drawings weeks earlier, a portrait of the Brooklyn Bridge. It hung in his office. When he saw the news, he made a call. "Find this man," he told his assistant. "I want to commission more work, and I want to help him." Within days, Jack received a message. The hospital wanted 12 portraits for their new wing. They'd pay real money, professional rates. From nothing to something, Jack wasn't just surviving anymore. He was living, working, creating. And through it all, his dog never left his side. 6 months later, Jack had an apartment. Nothing fancy, but it was his. The dog had a bed, food, toys. Jack stood in the doorway and cried. "We did it," he whispered. "We actually did it." One autumn morning, Jack set up his easel near Washington Square Park. The leaves were changing, golden, beautiful. A woman walked past, stopped, turned back. She was beautiful. Mid-40s, elegant, sad eyes. She looked at Jack's work, then at him. "Can you draw me?" she asked quietly. Her voice was tired, like she'd forgotten what hope sounded like. Jack was about to answer, but his dog did something strange. It stood up, walked directly to the woman, and sat at her feet, looking up at her, tail wagging. The woman's eyes filled with tears. Grace's eyes filled with tears. "He never does this," Jack said, amazed. "He's protective, cautious around strangers." Grace knelt down, stroked the dog's head. "What's his name?" "I never named him," Jack admitted. "I just call him Boy." Grace smiled for the first time. "He's choosing me, I think. I needed that today." Grace sat for her portrait. "Smile for me," Jack said. But she didn't, couldn't. Her face remained sad, distant. Jack studied her, really looked, and he saw something. Beneath the sadness, there was someone beautiful. Someone who'd forgotten how to see herself. So Jack drew what he saw. Not the sad woman in front of him, but the woman she could be, should be. Smiling, radiant, alive. His pencil moved with purpose. 20 minutes later, he was done. Jack turned the drawing around. Grace looked and froze. There she was, but different. Smiling, genuinely, beautifully. The woman she used to be before life broke her. Tears fell. Grace couldn't speak. Is this how you see me?" she whispered. Jack nodded. "This is who you are. You've just forgotten." Grace held the drawing to her chest, sobbing. "No one's seen me like this in years. How did you—" "Because I know what it's like to be lost," Jack said softly, "and to be found." Grace didn't leave. They talked for hours. She told him about her divorce, her loneliness, her depression. Jack told her about his past, his fall, his redemption. The dog lay between them, as if saying, "You both need each other." As the sun set, Grace stood to leave. She looked at Jack. Really looked. "Can I come back tomorrow?" Jack smiled, the first real smile Grace had seen. "I'd like that." The dog's tail wagged, as if he knew. He'd brought them together, just like he'd saved Jack's life. Months passed. Jack and Grace grew closer. Meanwhile, Dr. Martinez had a suggestion. "Your dog, he's special. Have you considered dog therapy certification?" Jack hadn't, but the more he thought about it, the more it made sense. The dog passed every test: temperament, obedience, gentleness. 6 weeks later, he was certified. Jack held the official vest, "Therapy Dog." "You saved me," he whispered. "Now you'll save others." Together, they visited hospitals, nursing homes, schools. Everywhere the dog went, he brought joy. Children laughed. Elderly people smiled. Depressed patients felt hope. And Jack, he drew portraits for free, giving back. One evening, at a senior center, an elderly woman held the dog's paw. "You remind me of my old boy," she said, crying. "Thank you for being here." Jack drew her portrait, with her imagined dog beside her. She wept with gratitude. Spring came, and with it, a miracle. The dog, now 3 years old, was going to be a mother. Jack was stunned. How did this? Grace laughed. "Life finds a way, Jack." They prepared together, and one April morning, 4 golden puppies were born. Jack and Grace watched the puppies grow, 4 little balls of gold, playing, tumbling, bringing even more light into the world. "This is what hope looks like," Grace whispered. Jack took her hand. "Yeah, it really is." One December afternoon, Jack went shopping for art supplies. A big commission was coming. The hospital wanted more portraits. Grace was home with the dogs. Jack entered the art store on 5th Avenue, browsing, peaceful. Then, an explosion. The building shook. Fire alarms screamed. Smoke poured in from the cafe next door. People panicked, ran for exits. Jack grabbed his phone, called Grace. "I'm okay. Get out if it spreads." He tried to leave, but then he heard them, screaming from the cafe. Jack ran toward the smoke, not away, toward. Through the cafe door, the heat was unbearable. Tables overturned, flames spreading. And there, under a collapsed table, Sophia, Dr. Martinez's daughter, and her friend, trapped. "I've got you," Jack yelled. He lifted the table, pulled them out, one at a time. Sophia was unconscious. Her friend was weak. Jack dragged them toward the exit. His clothes were burning, his lungs screaming, but he didn't stop. He got them out, onto the sidewalk. Paramedics rushed over. Jack turned to go back for others, but the doorway collapsed. Beams fell. Jack was trapped inside. Smoke filled his lungs. He couldn't see, couldn't breathe. He crawled, searching for another exit, but there was none. Outside, sirens wailed. Firefighters arrived. Water sprayed. And slowly, the fire died. But no one knew Jack was inside. The store employees had evacuated. The cafe staff were accounted for. No one reported a hero until 2 days later, Sophia woke up in the hospital and remembered. "Dad," Sophia gasped. "The street artist, Jack, he saved us. He's still in there." Dr. Martinez's blood ran cold. He called the fire department, police. "Search that building! There's a man inside!" But the building was unstable, dangerous. They hesitated. Meanwhile, at the scene, Grace arrived with the dog. She'd heard about the fire, came looking for Jack. The dog pulled on the leash hard, dragging Grace toward the burned building. And then he started barking, frantically, at one specific spot. The firefighters followed the dog, started digging, moving rubble. An hour later, they found him. Jack, barely conscious, burned, but alive. The paramedics rushed him to the hospital, the same hospital where Sophia lay, where Dr. Chen was director, the man who'd bought Jack's first professional painting. When Director Chen heard the name, he came running. Jack? The street artist Jack? He stood at Jack's bedside, looked at the unconscious man. Give him the best care we have. This man, his art hangs in my office. He's a hero. Save him. The story exploded. Street artist saves 2 lives in fire, found by his own therapy dog. It was everywhere. And thousands of miles away in Portland, Oregon, a man was watching the news. Michael, age 28. He saw his father's face and broke down crying. His sister Emily in Seattle called him, sobbing. "Did you see? That's Dad. That's our dad." They hadn't spoken to Jack in 15 years, hadn't known if he was alive or dead. But now they knew, and they had to see him. Jack woke up 4 days later. Bandages on his arms and chest, but alive. Grace was there, holding his hand, and sitting in the corner, 2 people he never thought he'd see again. His children. Michael spoke first, voice shaking. "Dad, it's us." Jack's eyes filled with tears. "Michael? Emily? How?" Emily stepped forward. "We saw the news. Dad, you saved people. You're a hero." Jack shook his head. "I'm not. I'm so sorry. For everything. For how I was. For losing you." Michael and Emily visited every day. And one afternoon, Grace brought the puppies. All 4. Now 4 months old. Playful. Golden. Beautiful. The hospital room filled with joy. "Dad," Emily said, could Michael and I each adopt one? To remember this, to remember you're back in our lives." Jack looked at Grace. She nodded. "They're your family now." Michael picked up a puppy. Emily held another, both crying happy tears. The puppies licked their faces as if sealing the bond. 3 months later, Jack was healed, back to drawing, and Sophia had a surprise. "My art school wants to give you an exhibition in our auditorium. Will you say yes?" Jack looked at Grace, at his dog, at his life. "Yes, I'll say yes." After the exhibition, Michael and Emily approached Jack, nervous. "Dad, we want to show you something." They pulled out their phones, photos, paintings, Jack's paintings from the exhibition. "We want to show these to Mom." Jack's heart sank. "Your mother? She's moved on, hasn't she? Remarried?" Emily nodded. "Yeah, 5 years ago. But Dad, she saw the news about the fire. She called us, asked about you." Michael added, "She's not coming back, Dad, but she wanted us to tell you. She forgives you, and she's proud of who you've become." 1 year later, winter again, but this time, everything was different. Jack and Grace stood on their street corner in Soho, the same corner where they'd met. But now they weren't alone. Michael and Emily visited from out of town, brought their dogs, now full grown. All 4 dogs played together, like siblings. Tourists stopped to pet them. Children laughed. The street that had once seen Jack at his lowest now saw him at his best. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, but he was home.
That night, Jack knelt beside his bed, Grace beside him, the dog at their feet, and he prayed. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you for hearing me that night. When I asked you to take me, you sent me a dog instead. You sent me life. You sent me hope." He looked at Grace, at the dog, at photos of his children. "I thought I was dying, but you were saving me."
Outside, snow fell on New York City, on the streets where Jack once froze, on the park where he prayed to die, on the corner where Grace found hope. The city sparkled, beautiful, cold, but full of miracles. And somewhere in that city, other people were praying, asking for help, wondering if anyone heard. And maybe, just maybe, another dog was finding them. Another chance was coming. Because that's what hope does. It spreads, one life at a time.
If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like.